Hello everyone, welcome to Felixology, aka my new YouTube channel. My name is Layla. I'm 16 years old and I live in America, and I am a K-pop fan, obviously, as you can see, and I've been a K-pop fan for around 4 years now. And I recently created this channel to become a news source slash outlet for K-pop and K-pop related things. I just wanted to talk about K-pop with other people other than my friends because I annoy them very much, even though they're also K-pop fans. But yeah, and I've also recently wanted to dive in more into the history of K-pop and history of K-pop groups, and also other issues, problems, or just like hot topics in K-pop, and I wanted to share that with you guys, my audience. So for my first ever YouTube video, I'll be discussing and recapping the history of one of my favorite groups at the moment, Stray Kids. I'll be starting from the very beginning all the way to their pre-debut days to now in 2020, covering everything from how they were formed, their discography, their accomplishments, their hardships, and anything else I can in about a 30-minute video. Since this is my first video, please bear with me as I may make a few mistakes here and there, especially in pronunciation, and also I may stumble over my words a little bit because I am a little nervous since this is my first video. And also know that I can't talk about everything as that would take forever, and even though I do want to talk about like everything, I know that would literally be probably like an hour-long video if I dive way into deep. Yeah, that's proper English, hopefully. Maybe not, but we'll see. See, I can't speak properly, so hopefully this will go along well. Also, please note that I will also be talking about former member Kim Woojin for the sake of the group's history, but I will not be discussing him after his departure and the recent allegation towards him, since that's not really about Stray Kids, that's about Woojin himself. Oh my god, this is starting off horribly. So with all that being said, let's move on to the video and the history of JYP Entertainment's boy group, Stray Kids. It's July, summer of 2017, and rumors of JYP Entertainment having a second season of their hit 2015 survival reality TV show 16 has been circling through the internet. After the amount of success the first season had and the formation of already one of the biggest girl groups in K-pop, TWICE, people were very curious to see what JYP had up their sleeve. It didn't take long for fans to find out the answers to their questions, as in August of 2017, JYP officially announced that the agency was releasing a new survival show, completely different from 16, to form their next big boy group. You heard that right, a new male idol group from JYP. This made people even more hyped for the show, as JYP was home to amazing and popular boy groups such as GOT7, 2PM, and Day 6. JYP later described the concept of the show as it being more of a teamwork effort instead of an individual work effort like in 16. Instead of individuals surviving to become a team in the end, the trainees would be working together towards the goal of debuting all as one in the end. So basically, the goal was to have all the trainees debut and have none be eliminated in between. The trainees would perform their own self-produced songs, and they were all judged on individual abilities and teamwork based on unexpected missions to win the trainees vs JYP challenges. The show would also feature behind the scenes of the trainees' lives and their August showcase. In the next couple of months, JYP Entertainment dropped more details and teasers about the show, which included the show's title, Stray Kids, in September. Before the premiere, JYP released a music video which included all the boys who would be on the show performing their song called Elevator on October 6th. The digital single of the song was released almost a month later on November 1st. The 9 chosen male trainees to be contestants on the show were Bangchan, Kim Woojin, Lee Minho, So Changbin, Hwang Hunjin, Han Ji-sung, Lee Felix, Kim Sungmin, and Yang Jongin. This pre-debut single garnered the eye of international K-pop fans, especially in America, making the song hit number 6 in the US World Digital Song Sales Chart, which you'll see become a pattern with Stray Kids throughout time. The first episode of the survival show soon debuted on Mnet on October 7th, 2017, and continued to have 9 more episodes, all being 60 minutes long and the finale being 90 minutes long. In episode 4, trainees Jongin, Mino, and Felix were at risk of being eliminated. Jongin was criticized for lacking in his rap and dance skills in their performance to their song School Life. Mino messed up his lyrics in their stage performance to their song Glow, and Felix got criticized for being unconfident in their stage performance to Glow as well. In the end, though, Mino was the one to get eliminated from the group. Later on in the show, in episode 8, trainees Hyunjin, Woojin, and Felix were now at risk of being eliminated. Hyunjin's pronunciation was lacking during their performances. Woojin was being criticized that he wasn't being recognized for being a main vocalist and was lacking in his dancing skill. And Felix made a mistake in one specific performance to their song Ya 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 and was criticized that his rapping did not stand out due to his difficulty in the Korean language. In the end, however, Felix was the one to get cut from the group. In episode 10 and the finale of the show, both Felix and Mino rejoined the group one more time to perform their group songs Elevator, School Life, and Gur before the final lineup was announced. The live fan vote ended up with 96% having the group debut as 9 instead of 7, meaning that both Felix and Mino would be debuting with the group. A robot has no mistakes, but a robot and human are different. When I see a 9-member stage, I still see lacking parts in both of you, but when all 9 perform, the expressions are alive. Congratulations, Stray Kids will debut as 9. Now that the survival show has ended in late 2017, the boys were getting ready to make their official debut, keeping the name Stray Kids from the survival show. The group's name expresses their determination to break the existing mold and go one step forward to be out of the ordinary, stated by the Stray Kids Wiki fan page. However, before dropping their debut mini-album, the group released an EP titled Mixtape on January 8, 2018, which contained co-written and co-composed songs by the members from their survival show. There are 7 songs, including Elevator as the title track, Gur or Law of Total Madness, Young Wings / Spread My Wings, Ya Ya Ya, Glow, School Life, and 4419. The EP itself peaked number 2 on the Gaon Music Chart and ranked number 2 in the US Billboard World Chart and sold over 45,000 physical copies in Korea in January alone. Stray Kids hadn't even properly debuted yet, but they were already doing extremely well in both Korea and America. On March 25th, Stray Kids finally made their debut with the hip-hop, rock, and EDM-inspired title track called District 9 and their mini-album I Am Not. The album itself is a struggle for identity and truthfulness and is the beginning of a meaningful start for Stray Kids as the basis of the infinite musical growth, stated by the Stray Kids Wiki fan page. The album consisted of 8 tracks including Not, District 9, Mirror, Awaken, Rock, Grow Up, Third Eye, and Mixtape 1, which was only available on the physical CD. It sold more than their pre-debut album, selling over 50,000 copies in the month of March alone in Korea. However, it did rank digitally a little lower, number 3 on the Gaon chart and number 5 in the US Billboard World Chart. This wasn't a huge difference, and their debut was still a huge success, especially internationally. This was the beginning of the group garnering more international fans than Korean fans, which seemed to be a new thing from a JYP group, as all of the groups under the entertainment agency had a balance of both international and Korean fans at the time. In the next month, Stray Kids would perform at KCON Japan 2018, making it their first overseas performance after debuting. On August 1st, Stray Kids finally announced their official fandom name, going with the nickname Stay, which was actually created with the help of both the company and the fans. The meaning behind it is that Stay is stray without the R. The R in Stray stands for reason, meaning that their fans are their reason and where they stay. Shortly after, on August 6th, the group had their first ever comeback, dropping their second mini-album, I Am Who, along with its hip-hop genre title track, My Pace. The album is a continuation of their debut album and is now about Stray Kids finding their real identities and who they want to become in life. The album consisted of 8 tracks including Who, My Pace, Voices, Question, Insomnia, Mia, or MIA. I still don't know how to pronounce it properly, even after all these years. It's only been 2 years. I don't know what I'm talking about. Back to the script. Awkward Silence and Mixtape 2, which was only available on the physical CD. It peaked at number 3 on the Gaon chart and number 5 in the US World Chart and sold over 70,000 copies in the month of August alone. On October 22nd, Stray Kids made their second comeback with the final installment with the I Am trilogy, with the mini album I Am You and a ballad pop title track with the same name. The album, like I mentioned previously, is the end of the I Am trilogy, with Stray Kids coming out of their uneasy youth and are now seeing the messages of hope at the end. They have finally found their place within themselves and society and are ready to take on what comes next for them in the future. The album itself contains 8 songs, including You, I'm You, My Side, Hero Soup, Get Cool, NS, and 0325, as well as Mixtape 3, which is only on the physical CD. The album peaked higher on the Gaon chart at number 2 and number 8 on the US World Chart, selling over 70,000 copies in the month of October alone. At the end of the music video of I'm You, Stray Kids created and used their now iconic phrase, "Stray Kids everywhere all around the world, you make Stray Kids stay," for the first time ever with the word stay capitalized to emphasize that their fans, once again, are the reason why they are where they are today. Afterwards, the group trademarked that specific phrase and began using it as their special motto throughout time. By the end of 2018, Stray Kids had won multiple Rookie Awards and Best New Artist Awards, including Best New Male Artist at the 2018 Mama Awards, and was now being called the term Monster Rookies. However, people were still very curious to see if Stray Kids still had what it takes to stay afloat in the K-pop industry, and if they were able to still keep their title the following year in 2019. So before I get into the discography portion of this section, I'm going to be discussing Bang Chan's scandals first because I don't really remember around what time each happened, but I do know they are spread out through the summer of 2019. Also, as a disclaimer, in no way am I saying I disagree or agree with the things that occurred. I'm only here to state what happened in each side to the story. If you want my personal opinion on the matters, you're free to ask me in the comments below. But yeah, I'm just trying to stay as neutral as possible for stays who may be new to the fandom or anyone who just wants some background context. So the first controversy for Stray Kids and the first scandal for member and leader Bang Chan was an incident regarding a hairstyle he wore during a performance. The style was a set of cornrows, which many people know are important too and is a statement of African American culture. If you do not know the history of cornrows and why it is seen in a negative light or disrespectful when a non-African American person wears it, please take some time and do some research about it. When fans found out about this, many people, especially Black Stays, were very hurt by what he had done and considered it as cultural appropriation. Black Stays deserve an apology and an explanation. All of the members deserve to be able to educate themselves and to learn from their mistakes. Yes, we don't know if it was his decision or not, but either way, no one's going to learn anything if we just ignore it and try to pretend it didn't happen. He's an adult. He's able to explain/apologize, and he's also able to educate himself. This goes for everything, including this. The second scandal for Chan was a situation regarding him saying ninja in a song in 3 Rachas, the producing team of Stray Kids. It consists of members Chan, Changbin, and Han. Song called Pace. A specific part of the song was going viral where Chan was saying, "I'ma protect all my ninjas," as it sounded like he was saying the N-word. I'll play a snippet for you so you can hear it for yourself and you can decide which one you hear. "I'ma protect all my ninjas." It was later confirmed that he was in fact saying ninjas, but people were still upset that he was maybe using the word to be a replacement for the N-word. I think he messed up when he replaced the N-word with ninja, a very similar sounding word. Even in his verse in 3 Rachas Pace, "Listen up, I'm pretty sure you heard wrong. I said ninja's fine, I think you misheard." It seemed like he knew what he was doing. Again, I myself will not be talking about my opinion on this matter, but if you want my side to it as a Black Stay myself and how I feel about it and what I think about it, you are free to ask me down in the comments. The final scandal for Chan was something to do with mental illness. At a fan meeting in July, I believe, Chan was talking to a fan about a performance the group had done, and the female fan said she had quote-unquote depression. Chan, at the time and during the fan meet, was dressed up as a doctor and jokingly said to take some medicine. People took the quote-unquote depression statement out of context and thought the fan actually had the real mental illness, when in fact she was talking about post-concert depression, which is a term many people use, including myself, as a way to express sadness after seeing our favorite idol or artist at a concert. This was confirmed by the fan herself, and she said later it was just a mistranslation from Korean to English. I honestly do not remember, but I'm also pretty sure that Chan also apologized for this as well, but if I am wrong, please politely correct me. So that's all I have regarding Bang Chan's scandals. Again, I hope that I didn't come off as rude or mean when discussing these topics. I really didn't mean to come off like that, and I'm just trying to recap what happened during that summer of 2019 when Chan did get into various different scandals. But now we're going to move on from that and talk about everything else that happened during the beginning of 2019 all the way to Woojin's departure. In the beginning of 2019, Stray Kids began their Unveil I Am tour, which started in January and ended in September, where they performed in popular countries such as Thailand, Australia, the United States, the United Kingdom, and many more. The overall attendance was around 100,000 people. On March 25th, Stray Kids dropped their fourth mini-album and began the start of a new era. The album's name was Clay One Moreau, having a hip-hop EDM pop title track with the same name Moreau, and a strong hip-hop anthem subtitle track called Victory Song. In the beginning of this new era and album, Stray Kids express courage through challenges they face and sing passionately about young adulthood and another first step in life. They now have a newfound passion for life after finding out who they really are and are ready to take on the world. The mini-album consisted of 8 tracks, including Entrance, Moreau, Victory Song, Maze of Memories, Boxer, Chronosaurus, literally the best Stray Kids song to ever exist, 19, and Mixtape 4, which was only available on the physical CD. For the first time ever since debut, Stray Kids' mini-album peaked number 1 on the Gaon Music Chart and ranked number 3 in the US World Chart. With this huge accomplishment in Korea, the boys were able to take home their first ever music show win on M Countdown on April 4th with Moreau. I couldn't find out how many physical copies were sold, but I'm gonna imagine that it was a very large amount. The Moreau era was a big leap in Stray Kids' career and showed that they were still monster rookies and they weren't going to be stopping anytime soon. It was also a great way to kickstart off the year and add a fresh new sound in K-pop, and Moreau as a song helped begin a trend of EDM-styled beat drops and other title tracks within K-pop groups. In the middle of their tour, Stray Kids dropped a special mini-album in the second installment of the Clay series called Clay 2 Yellow Wood, with a very experimental EDM and dark title track called Side Effects, and also Stray Kids' best title track, but you guys aren't ready for that conversation. The album had all the previous mixtapes from the past albums, so now they were available to stream digitally instead of only on the CD, and 2 new tracks, Road Not Taken and TMT, were also on the album. The 3 new tracks discuss how Stray Kids are afraid to reveal their own weaknesses after choosing to take their new path into life. They are becoming more reckless and try to avoid what weak spots they have, which ultimately makes them suffer heavily. The quote-unquote side effects of being blind to everything comes back to bite them and makes things a lot more challenging and confusing than before. The album, to many people's surprise, did very well, even though the title track was heavily criticized for being too noisy or too much for listeners, and with the album only being a special album with only 3 new songs. It peaked number 2 on the Gaon Music Chart and number 9 for the US World Chart. Sadly, I also couldn't find the amount of physical copies sold during the first month of it being released. Stray Kids was now on the road to have their next comeback after finishing their tour in the late fall, dropping an electronic trap hip-hop genre pre-release single titled Double Knot on October 9th, which ranked number 4 on the world's digital sales chart. They also announced that they would be doing their first ever world tour starting at the end of 2019 and go through the half of 2020. It was soon revealed that their next mini-album would be dropping on November 2nd. However, on October 28th, JYP Entertainment announced that member Kim Woojin terminated his contract with the agency and was leaving the group due to personal reasons. This was a shock to many as he left the group seemingly out of nowhere and that he left only less than a week prior to the group's comeback. Because of this, the initial comeback date was scratched and was delayed, and Stray Kids would continue as an 8-member group. This scared and worried many fans as they were soon believing that this would be the fall of Stray Kids as they were still such a new group and already lost a member. However, the boys were determined to stay strong and to still have a successful end of the year with the help of STAYZ. They then released their first ever song as a group of 8 with their first ever OST for the K-drama Extraordinary You, titled Story That Won't End, or also called Never Ending Story, on November 7th, 2019. Shortly after, on November 13th, the group dropped a music video for their second pre-release single, Astronaut. Finally, on December 9th, Stray Kids dropped the final installment of the Clay series called Clay Levanter and a ballad pop trap title track with the same name, Levanter. It included both Double Knot and Astronaut, as well as 5 new songs called Stop, Booster, Sunshine, You Can Stay, and Mixtape 5, which was only available on the physical CD. The album closes the trilogy by having Stray Kids finally find the true meaning of Clay and finally step out of the world they were in into a new one. The album once again did very well on charts, peaking number 1 on the Gaon Music Chart and number 9 on the US World Chart. And to their surprise, both for Stray Kids and STAYZ, they were able to take home their second music show win on M Countdown. Again, I could not find the physical album sales, so I'm sorry about that. If I missed any or couldn't find any chart or sales related facts, please let me know in the comments. Stray Kids won numerous Rookie Awards and New Artist Awards just like last year and was still holding their title of being Monster Rookies in 2019. They also showed to not only their fans but to other K-pop locals that they are still strong as an 8-member group and will be known as 8 for the rest of their career. Before the year came to a close, Stray Kids released one final digital single called Mixtape Gone Days on December 26th, which was also the first installment of their mini mixtape series. So since we are getting close to the 30-minute mark for this video, I'm going to try my best to recap this year for Stray Kids so far as quickly as possible, so be ready for a lot of information being thrown your way. On November 24th through the 25th, the group kicked off their District 9 Unlock World Tour at the Olympic Hall in South Korea and would be touring in multiple different countries and cities through most of 2020. In the beginning of the year, on January 24th, Stray Kids released their first ever English versions of their songs, Double Knot and Levanter, as a digital single named Step Out of Clay. They also released a music video for the Double Knot English version. On January 29th, Stray Kids would start their American leg of their tour in New York, but would only be able to finish that one leg due to the COVID-19 outbreak, which ultimately ended the tour abruptly. On March 13th, Stray Kids had their official Japanese debut with a compilation album called Stray Kids 2020, which had new recordings with the now 8 members of most of their previous songs, and as well as Japanese versions of their songs My Pace, Double Knot, and Levanter. It peaked at number 3 on the Oricon Japanese charts and has sold over 35,000 copies in Japan as of currently, which isn't bad at all considering this was their first ever Japanese debut and they already ranked pretty high on the charts. On March 26th, to celebrate their 2-year anniversary as a group, Stray Kids released their second installment of their mini mixtape project called Mixtape On Track. On April 23rd, they released their first Japanese digital single titled Top, which included a song with the same name and another song called Slump. The song Top was used for the anime Tower of God as the official theme song. Later on, they released an English version and Korean version for both songs in May, and then released both a physical CD and digital EP with all versions of the 2 songs. The Japanese version of Top peaked number 1 on the Oricon chart, and the physical CD sold over 45,000 copies in Japan as of today. Stray Kids were already making their mark in Japan with only 2 real Japanese songs, which in my opinion is literally insane. Going back a little bit, on May 27th, the group announced they were releasing their first ever full-length studio album in mid-June. This made fans extremely excited and overjoyed, as they have been asking for a full-length album for the boys since late 2019. On June 17th, Stray Kids had their comeback with Go Live and the spicy, fast-paced trap hip-hop styled title track, God's Menu. The track itself was described as a strong, addictive taste that you will never forget and will keep wanting to come back for more and more. The album itself has the core theme of dealing with hardships and the various different ways one might overcome or deal with them. The album had 14 songs in total, which I'm not going to say all the song title names because this video is way too damn long and we still need to get into it in life, so here are the song title names. The album peaked at number 1 on the Gaon chart, number 9 on the US World Chart, and the title song God's Menu debuted at number 144 on the Gaon Weekly Download Chart, which was Stray Kids' first ever single to appear on the chart. The album sold over 240,000 copies in the first month, making it Stray Kids' best-selling album at the time. And later on, the album received a certification from the Gaon chart as a platinum sales album, which means they sold more than 250,000 copies, also making the group's first album to do so. The music video for God's Menu also reached over 100 million views in a month, making it the fastest 4th-gen boy group music video to ever do so. And it also received over 1 million comments, making it one of the most commented videos in YouTube history. Sadly, the group was unable to get a music show in, but honestly, does that really matter, seeing how much they accomplished in less than 2 months? In my opinion, not really. I will now briefly mention the scandal which occurred during the middle of their Go Live promotions for the sake of the group's history. In June of 2020, during one of their episodes of the reality TV show Finding Stray Kids Season 2, Stray Kids member Hyunjin was accused of blackface as he was dressed up as a Korean cartoon character, which many people believe portrayed African Americans in a bad, stereotypical light. Many people, including fans, were upset by this and wanted an apology from JYP or Hyunjin himself. A couple weeks later, the group did post an apology on their group's official Instagram and owned up to their mistake. It was never confirmed who wrote the message, but most people believed it was the leader of the group, Bang Chan, as the wording used in the apology was similar to his and was translated from Korean to English. But with that out of the way, Go Live era was a huge stepping stone in Stray Kids' career, as they were now being known as the quote-unquote kings of 4th-gen K-pop, since they were no longer rookies. People were now noticing them more than ever and were invested to see what other projects they would produce in the future. On July 16th, the group dropped their second OST for the web drama Pop Out Boy with the digital single Hello Stranger. Not even 6 months later, on September 14th, Stray Kids had their second comeback for this year and dropped a repackaged album of Go Live called In Life with the funky, festival-like hip-hop trap title track Backdoor, which is about continuing from their previous song God's Menu and wanting listeners to hear more of what Stray Kids has to offer behind this seemingly mysterious back door. The album included all 14 songs off the previous one, as well as 8 new songs, which I'll list right here. The album peaked number 1 on the Gaon chart, number 4 in the US World Chart, and Backdoor ranked number 11 on the Gaon Weekly Download Chart, and number 2 on the World Digital Sales Chart. The repackaged album itself sold more than the original version, selling over 300,000 copies in total. Stray Kids are now holding the title of being the best-selling group that debuted in 2018, selling over 1,700,000 copies in total, beating groups such as IZ*ONE, ATEEZ, NCT, G-Idol, and more. They also earned 2 more music show wins with Backdoor on Show Champion on September 23rd and on M Countdown on September 24th. Now we are finally nearing the end of the video, and honestly, if you watched this whole entire thing, seriously thank you, because I didn't think it would be this long, and I'm sorry if it sounds crappy towards the end because I'm low-key tired of reading this whole entire script 5 million times over. But anyways, on October 20th, Stray Kids released their title track for their first Japanese mini album, All In, titled with the same name, All In, as well as a music video for it. On October 27th, aka the day I'm writing this part of the script, they released the album digitally with 2 new Japanese tracks, Fam and One Day, Japanese versions of God's Menu and Backdoor, as well as their Japanese songs Top and Slump. As of October 26th, Stray Kids and the album All In were trending at #1 and #3 on Melon's real-time search chart. And also, the physical version of the album will be released on November 4th, so 2 days after this video has been posted. And there you have it, the history of JYP Entertainment's latest boy group, Stray Kids, all recapped in one video. I know I didn't go over everything, like some of their social media and streaming accomplishments, but I tried my best to cover everything I thought was the most important to discuss. So, future editing Layla here. I totally forgot to mention that Stray Kids is the most streamed 4th gen boy group on Spotify, and I'm pretty sure they are the second most streamed boy group in total on Spotify. I'm pretty sure. I just saw this, so I'm just putting this into the video because I think that's a very big accomplishment. So yeah, I actually forgot a very big important fact, but here it is. Both accomplishments, because they're very important. Okay, bye. I've been a stay for around 2 years now, but I never realized how much these boys have accomplished in such a short amount of time until I did this video. So now I want your guys' opinion on Stray Kids. Do you listen to them? Do you stan them? Do you really think they are the future kings of the 4th gen of K-pop? Or do you think they still have a while to go? But with that being said, I will close out this video now because it is now reached over the 30-minute mark. I hope you all enjoyed it, and maybe you'll even look into getting into Stray Kids. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Hopefully will be posted next week. And yeah, have a great day or night wherever you are. And yeah, bye!